Scheduled meeting of the Freeport City Council. It is Monday, January 5th, and like I said, 6 o'clock. I will declare a quorum is present and will officially call this meeting to order. At this point, I will ask Councilman Rosso if you would kindly lead us in the pledge and the prayer.
Let's pray. Gracious Father, we're so thankful to give us this opportunity to come together. We ask that you would bless this meeting as only you can. We thank you, Lord, for every participant, every person that speaks tonight, Lord. We thank you for the truth, Lord, because you are the truth. We pray, Lord, that only truth will go forth. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, and you may be seated. We have something new added to the agenda, item 1D, which are matters subsequent to posting. Dr. Kelly.
We have none, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. For those that really pay attention to the agendas, Dr. Kelly has explained to me that this is something that she is used to where if there is something that has come up or changed in the posting, since it was posted, then she would bring it up at that point. Does that sound right?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, next we have audience participation. We are going to try our handy-dandy clock up here again, if I can remember. Help is on the way. You are correct. So what'd you hit before CD set twice? All right. All right, we're going to try it. Remember, he didn't give me the remote last meeting, so. First we have Mr. James Carter. You can. All right, Toby, you may have to run this thing from over there. Sorry about that, James.
As I said, Mayor, Council, Dr. Kelly, I just come to you tonight. I would like to introduce to you guys the new site manager we have here on site with Veolia, Mr. Javance Dawson.
How y'all doing?
Doing well.
I've worked in wastewater for the last 5 years in the Freeport area. I've served Dow. I've also served in Global. Now I'll be working with Veolia, serving the city of Freeport. I'm just happy to be here.
Welcome aboard. Next we have Mr. Manning Rollerson.
Good afternoon, Council.
Good evening.
Hope everybody enjoyed their holidays so far. But I do want to ask a couple of serious questions. And I did get a response from our police department. But I do want to ask a question. Do the city support the the constables and our officers in the sheriff department going into a resident in a stacked formation with AR-15s and suppressors? That's what I want to know. Because if the citizens get evicted around here and the constables and our city police and the sheriff department can enter a house with suppressors and AR-15, there's nobody safe in this city. Nobody. I'm not going to cut for that because that is wrong. When it comes to entering homes like that, I seen that in Afghanistan. This is America. Freeport is not Afghanistan or California to be going in a house in a stacked formation with AR-15s with suppressors. What was the motives of the constables and what was the motive of those officers that was out there? The statement from one Freeport officer is that there's nothing but children in here, so what was the ulterior motives for them to go there like that in the first place? So that makes me know that everybody in danger that get evicted in Brazoria County by its own constable department. I request the constables to send me the information as I'm requesting from the city of Freeport, every officer that was out there, I want your surety bond numbers. Because I will file on every surety bond to get a serious investigation into this situation. Because at the end of the day, no one is safe if that is protocol. No one. Also, I want to know, let you guys know that I did receive the wastewater treatment memorandum from my lawyers from the city of Freeport. I want to know why the city of Freeport do not keep up with this information. You were fined for it more than once. Also, I want to know in 2014 with the wastewater treatment plant, why it wasn't completed by 2017 and you took the money from the allocation of the Port of Freeport to fix the water waste treatment plant or our wastewater. What happened in Freeport since 2014 not getting that fixed, and in 2025 y'all reallocated the money for that new community to fix the wastewater? We need answers to that, because this is why we're not getting our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rollerson. Next, we have Miss Flora Green.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and the members of the public. My name is Flora Green, and I'm speaking tonight as on both the concerned citizen of Freeport and the member of the City of Freeport Civil Service Committee. I wanted to be very clear at the outset. This is not a personal attack on the individual, nor is it an attempt to undermine the authorities of this council or the mayor. This is about policies, procedures, protocols, and public trust, the very foundation of good governing. The recent appointment of the City Oversight Committee behind closed doors raised serious concern, not only about what was done, but how it was done. When action that directly affects accountability and transparency occurs without public notice, decisions, and participation, it creates an appearance rather than, or not, secrecy and inclusion. It appears matters. Even if every action taken was technically legal, the presentation to the public may be the proper procedure was bypassed. That presentation alone can erode trust. As public service, we are obligated not to just follow the law, but to uphold the spirit of openness that the law is meant to protect. This situation raises important questions that deserve thoughtful consideration where open meeting requirements fully satisfied? Were established city policies and protocol followed? Was the public given the fair opportunity to observe and participate in a decision that directly affect the oversight and accountability? These are not accusations, they are questions. Reason one, they may in our community, many in our communities are already asking. Oversight committees exist to ensure transparency, fairness, and confidence in our system. When the formation of such a body like transparency itself, it undermines the very purpose it is meant to serve. The good news is it still can be made right. The council and the mayor have the opportunity right now to pause, reflect, correct courses if needed. That could mean revisiting the appointment process in an open meeting, clearly explaining the legal basics for the action taken, or redoing the process in a way that fully aligns with the policies, procedures, and public expectation. Doing so would not be an admission of wrongdoing. It would be a determination of leadership, accountability, and respect for the people of Freeport. Trust in government is fragile. Once lost, it's difficult to restore. Tonight is the opportunity to strengthen that trust rather than weaken it. I urge the City Council and the Mayor to choose transparency, to invite public confidence, and to ensure that every action moving forward reflects not just permissible, but what is right. Thank you, Council.
Thank you, Ms. Green. See, I don't feel so bad now. Next, we have Mr. Thomas Cool.
Hello, City Council members.
Good evening.
Okay, first of all, I want everybody here, everybody recording me, everybody seeing me on cam. I want y'all to hear me and hear me good, please. First, thank y'all for fixing that lighted up stop sign on Avenue J and Skinner. Signs are very expensive, I know that, but a resident still thinks it's funny. I don't. I'm here to expose the leaders or anyone else on my cause for the safety of the citizens of Freeport, Texas. The city just installed 2 more signs posts with 2 signs on each post on Pecan Street, 1 on each side of 4th Street. One of the signs says cross traffic does not stop. The other one says slow, dangerous intersection. There's one other place in the city where y'all install cross traffic does not stop, and that's Velasco Boulevard and Highway 36. Y'all know the traffic on 36 moves fast. No other place in Freeport with a sign that says slow, dangerous intersection here in the city. You leaders are telling the tax-paying citizens that voted y'all into office that y'all acknowledge that Pecan and 4th Street is very dangerous intersection. In fact, it's a very seriously dangerous intersection. The cross traffic does not stop. Y'all are saying that traffic on 4th Street moves really fast. We're in fear. We are terrified. We're scared. We don't have a peace of mind at that intersection. 4th Street and Pecan Street. Might as well post up a sign that says, travel at your own risk. Unless you're an ex-leader, you are telling us we don't care about y'all safety at the intersection of 4th Street and Pecan Street. I got 2 testimonies from Sergeant and Corporal from the Freeport Police Department at that intersection is a problem. Another one from the Public Works employee installing the new signs. He told me he remembers a vehicle hitting the guy on the bicycle at that intersection. EMS was called. Why are y'all so-called leaders playing with our safety and our peace of mind? Okay. The nearby schools, elementary school, Pecan Street and 11th Street, 7 blocks away. Intermediate school, 4th Street, 5 blocks away. The high school, is on Second Street, 5 blocks away. I got testimonies, I got FOIA records, I've witnessed 3 very bad accidents with children in all 3 different accidents. EMS called, taking people to the hospital. What are y'all waiting for to make this happen on 4th Street and Pecan Street? A 4-way stop, another really bad accident, and it's coming, because it's due. Y'all got a choice to vote this in. Quit playing with the citizens' mental state of mind. Enough's enough. Come on, guys. Y'all gonna have it on your conscience, because the accident's coming, that's for sure, and nothing's being done. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cool. Next, we have Miss Patty Richardson. Miss Richardson, would you like to wait until 4B? All right, that brings us on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda, there are 2 items. Item 2A, action regarding the minutes of the December 15th, 2025 meeting, and action approving the date change for the second city council meeting in January 2026 to Tuesday, January 20th, 2026, due to the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Council, is there a motion?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion to approve by Councilman Matamoros,
I second.
seconded by Councilman Rosso. Any discussion on this, gentlemen? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor state aye. Aye. All opposed state nay. Motion carries unanimously. Proclamations, presentations, and updates. First, we have employee recognition. I would like to ask Chief Motley if you would come up here.
Mayor and Council, I have Lieutenant Davison. This employee of the month was for December, but the way his schedule fell, they were not on shift until today. And then firefighter Phillips had called in sick this morning, so otherwise he would be here as well. But back in Wednesday, November the 19th, I received a telephone call from a local resident requesting assistance and asking for someone from the department to stop by. The resident, who had been released from the hospital just a few days prior, had several medical questions and were experiencing difficulty eating properly. I contacted Lieutenant Davison and asked him to meet with me at the residence. Him and firefighter Phillips arrived, I was reviewing the resident's discharge paperwork, which did not include the proper or appropriate dietary instructions, and he just had a serious procedure there. Upon arrival, Lieutenant Davis immediately began the complete patient assessment, while firefighter Phillips documented the evaluation and helped review the hospital information. Throughout the interaction, both Lieutenant Davison and Phillips firefighter demonstrated outstanding teamwork, communication, professionalism. They addressed the patient's concern thoroughly, verified the medical background, and provided clear, helpful dietary recommendations to support the patient's recovery. Their calm presence and compassionate approach made a significant difference in the residents' comfort and confidence. Based on their actions, I proudly nominate Lieutenant Davison and firefighter Robert Phillips for Employee of the Month. Their work exemplifies the core values of our department: teamwork, working seamlessly together to provide high-quality care, initiative, going beyond and beyond, above and beyond by responding to the residents' needs outside of normal expectations, excellent in quality, delivering service with professional compassion dedicated to the well-being of our community. Their actions reflect positively on the Freeport Fire and EMS Department, demonstrate the level of service that all our employees deliver. But what I saw was teamwork and what they delivered to the patient and restoring the patient's confidence. He did return later to the hospital, but he needed reassurance and understanding what was going on, and they did that in detail. So that's why I recognize those 2 employees for this. Thank you.
Professionalism at its finest there.
All right. Let me get your...
Thank you. Dr. Kelly, would you like to let us know what's coming up?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We have the 2026 Martin Luther King Parade in downtown Freeport. That's January 19th at 11 a.m. We also have the Martin Luther King Festival at the Freeport Municipal Park, January 19th at 12 noon. And then we have a new software going live in February. It's for FOIA requests, so we'll be able to track those more expeditiously.
Thank you very much. Next, we have agenda item 4A, consideration and possible action approving resolution number 2026-3016, appointing members to the Senior Citizen Commission. Dr. Kelly.
Yes, thank you. So we had several resignations from the Senior Citizens Commission, Marcia Seidel, Linda Harrison, and Lorraine Mitchell, and we need to replace those volunteers with new candidates. Our current applicants include Dana Glenn, Diana Parker, and Carol Parker, and these will fulfill the slots that were previously vacated, and they will run through May 31st, 2026.
Will this give us a full board?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Glenn, Ms. Parker, and Ms. Parker, those of you that are here that would like to come up and introduce yourselves, this is the time. If you don't want to, no pressure, you don't have to.
I don't have that long, but many years ago, I was on the senior commission, and we worked well with the council and with the city, and I enjoyed the seniors. I like working with my peers. It doesn't bother me. I've been volunteering quite a bit, but I would like to try again. It's up to y'all. And either way, I thank you for giving me consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Is Miss Diana Parker and Carol Parker either? All right. So council, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to make a full commission because we only have one person here, and they are required to be here to be appointed. So, with that being said, Councilman Rosso, once again, you are the liaison. So I will entertain a motion.
Yeah, I make a motion that we accept.
Ms. Glenn.
I'll second.
We have a motion to accept Ms. Glenn by Councilman Rosso, seconded by Councilman Davis. Council, any questions or comments on this? Hearing none. Yes, sir.
I just want to say thank you for your service, and I hope y'all, get that board filled back up quickly. I hear y'all be having a good time over there. I'm gonna have to see if I can come join y'all at the job and let me off and come.
Won't be long, sir.
Won't be long. All right. All right.
All right, so council, I'll call the vote. All those in favor state aye. Aye. All opposed state nay. Motion carries unanimously. And for the record, and just to clear up any kind of confusion, we have new rules as far as appointments on the boards, one of which is they have to be here the night of the appointment. Moving on, agenda item 4B, Consideration and possible action approving resolution number 2026-3017, appointing a member to the Planning and Zoning Commission. Mr. Harris.
All right, thank you very much. Council, thank you, citizens of the City of Freeport. On December the 22nd, at our Planning and Zoning meeting, we met to one of the topics that we discussed was the selection. We had 4 candidates and the board final recommendation. The four candidates were Melanie Odom, Greg Bartosh, Patricia Richardson, and Landis Adams. The recommendation from the board that I'm presenting to you today was Melanie Odom was a selection. The reason for it is that the current member, Carol Clark, has resigned from the Planning and Zoning Committee. Therefore, the board consists of 5 members for the Planning and Zoning, so that leaves us 1 short. So we only had actually 1 vacancy. The instruction was to of course, to give each of the members who had filed an application for the board. I did not see, unless he's in the back, I didn't see Greg, nor did I see Landis Adams. If I'm correct, I know I've seen Miss Melanie Odom here today, and I've seen Miss Patricia Richardson.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes, sir, but the recommendation was Melanie Odom as the candidate.
Thank you, Mr. Harris. At this time, Ms. Oldham and Ms. Richardson, if y'all would like to come up and say a few words as to why we should pick you, introduce yourself. Once again, if you don't want to, then that's perfectly fine as well. Come on up.
Hello, good evening. I'm Melanie Oldham, and I would ask that you appoint me to the Planning and Zoning Committee. I'd love to serve on this board. Several years back, I was on the board for about a year and a half, and I had to step down due to health issues. But during that time, the board got the opportunity to work with a consulting company, and we rewrote the ordinances for subdivisions and zoning. So I learned a lot during that period of time from the consultation company, and just hearing from the public that came and told us what they would like to see in the city. And as you know, the City of Freeport, we're kind of landlocked. We have limited amount of land that's not in AE flood zones or other areas. And I know it's so important for planning and zoning, with a lot of public input, making recommendations to the city council. And we know, I think right now we're kind of at a crossroads with the city. We either will become more of an industrial town, or will become a destination city where we can zone in order to have not only housing, but commercial and nice, like an event center, a sports complex. But it's going to take a lot of planning to use what land we have, and I would really appreciate y'all voting for me so I could have the opportunity to serve on planning and zoning. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Oldham. Ms. Richardson.
Happy New Year, Council,
To you as well.
and Miss Dr. Kelly. I won't be very long. I don't think there's a lot to say.
Can you get a little closer to the mic?
Yep.
Thank you.
How about down here? Yeah. I'm Patty Richardson. I homestead at 21 North Avenue A. It's very important to be a decision maker and actually have skin in the game, to own a house, to own property, to make a difference in Freeport, because it truly matters to you. It's not just a stop in your journey, it's your home. I ask that you select me to serve on our P&Z board. It's pretty simple. I've had a Texas real estate license most of my life. I'm governed by the state of Texas, and I answer to the Texas Real Estate Commission. I exceed all ethical and educational standards for such an important board role as this. As a real estate professional, I'll help this board accomplish essential residential and commercial growth for now and future generations. It's not just about what happens in the next 10 years, but it's about what happens in the next 50 to 100. Council, thank you. I'm ready to help Freeport take a step in the right direction. I'm ready to help our Planning and Zoning Commission make a difference in Freeport.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, the liaison to the P&Z.
That's myself, Mayor. And Mayor, I'm going to make a motion on the recommendation of our Planning and Zoning to appoint Melanie Oldham to fulfill the remaining term on the Planning and Zoning Board.
We have a motion on the floor to appoint Ms. Melanie Oldham, made by Councilman Matamoros. Is there a second?
A second.
Seconded by Councilman Rosso. Any questions or comments on this, gentleman?
Yeah, Mayor, I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
I was contacted by residents and candidates for the P&Z position here that had applied when P&Z had actually voted on this. And they had informed me that there was only 2 candidates at the time that were present, and that was Ms. Richardson and Mr. Greg, I forget his last name, Bartosh. And the question was, does any of these candidates need to be in attendance? And they had asked because of the ordinance that we had just passed. And it's my understanding that that ordinance is relevant to city council and all the boards. And so I wanted to raise that question here this evening from legal, if in fact the ordinance does cover the boards. And if so, that would mean that anybody that got nominated or voted for, I should say, by P&Z board, basically had violated the ordinance, and that particular nomination was not legal according to the ordinance. And I don't have the ordinance in front of me. So I have a question for legal on that.
Okay, so the ordinance regarding appointments, it applies to both the city council and to the council-appointed boards. It says that the council and the council-appointed boards will follow the same procedures. The last section 5 says that they can't, neither the council or board can vote on somebody unless that person is present in person. So that rule applies to both council and the board.
So my second question, Mayor, is that if that's the case, then that only means that there's only one qualified nominee in attendance, whereas the other qualified nominee is not in attendance. And so we have to revise the motion.
One question I have for legal is,
Yes,
a lot of the boards will just send us a recommendation and not necessarily take a vote. They might do a straw poll or what have you. How does that affect their recommendation to council?
Okay, so the wording says no person may be selected or appointment voted on unless the person is present in person. So it covers whether a person is selected or they're voted on.
Thank you, sir. With that being said, Councilman Matamoros, do you change your motion?
I'm curious if it was relayed to the board and then to those applicants, if they had to be at both meetings. Because this is such a new ordinance, I mean, how do we know if it was relayed to every applicant?
It's public information. And we didn't elect 2 individuals to the senior board because of that rule. And obviously, we got to follow that ordinance. We just did it earlier this evening.
So then that blows a hole right through your entire argument of there's not a commission, so how are they going to vote on somebody if there's nobody there to have a meeting?
No,
So that blows a hole right through your entire argument.
it's not my entire
I mean,
argument. Legal just addressed,
Gentlemen, one conversation at a time, please.
legal just addressed that very point. How that election is done is that person has to be in attendance, whether there's a straw poll or no poll, but a vote. So it's not a matter of withdrawing. The nomination is not legal. And so I make a motion to nominate the
We have a
only
motion,
legitimate.
we have a motion and a second on the floor.
Well, it's not a matter of withdrawing it if it's illegal, is it?
It still needs to be withdrawn or voted upon.
You can't vote on an illegal vote, on the illegal measure.
Okay, I'll concur with the mayor on the procedure, right? So either the motion can be withdrawn or the council can vote, okay? So if the council votes against the recommendation based upon the rule, right? Then y'all would, that would be denied, and then y'all would move on to a second motion. If the council votes and says, well, we don't care about what the rule is, we just vote anyway, right?
Break the ordinance
Then,
or violate the ordinance.
right, then that creates a problem, so.
So we can't violate the ordinance knowing that we are violating the ordinance.
Correct.
So-
But I mean, but there's no procedural way to say, you know, the motion's on the floor, there's a second, it either needs to be withdrawn or go to a vote.
Well, it sounds to me like the legal thing to do is to withdraw. If we don't withdraw, we're breaking the law. And all the ordinances, we're now going to set a precedent that, hey, citizens, every ordinance that's on the books, council has just made a direct violation of an ordinance, and use that in your arguments whenever you violate any ordinance going forward, and get either some citation or ticket from the city. Is that a fair assessment?
Councilman, you're stretching it now.
No, I don't know if it's a stretch. It's legit. I mean, ordinances are laws.
So,
Councilman
Mayor,
Matamoros?
I'm going to make a motion, withdraw my motion, and I'm going to make a motion to table this, send it back to planning and zoning, and have them vote on this with everybody present.
We're talking about these boards not having members on these, and they're all time sensitive. It's not fair.
Hold on, Councilman Pena.
It's not fair to everybody that's been there.
We have a motion to withdraw. Councilman Rosso, do you?
I'll agree, we'll withdraw it.
Okay, so that motion was withdrawn.
I want to make a motion.
And so I'm going to make a motion.
Motion's already been made to table. Is there a second?
Wait, he can't make a motion to table before he's took away his second.
He did.
He made a motion,
Oh,
and
that's
it
right.
wasn't even taken away yet. He
Mr.
had to
Duncan,
take it
help
away.
me out here.
Yeah, actually Jarvis spoke up first.
Okay, so yeah, you have to have a vote or a final action on the first motion before you can make a second motion.
All right.
So this now already said, I guess we have a race, right?
Well, no, don't I get, because you've made a legal opinion, I still should have the option to make a motion
No,
first.
just a nomination, not a motion.
Well, I'll just resolve it this way. And it's no clear, sometimes people say, hey, the law should be easy, black and white. Sometimes it's not easy, right? The votes will be the votes, right? So if Councilman Matamoros wants to make another motion. If the votes are there, the votes are there. So he can go ahead and make a second motion.
So I make a motion to table this and send it back to planning and zoning so they can do it properly.
So now, council, we have a motion on the floor to table by Councilman Matamoros. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Rosso. Any questions or comments? Any discussion on this, gentlemen?
Yeah, I just want to state that, again, Councilman from Ward C said that the P&Z board did it, or wants to send it back to P&Z and table this because they did it improperly. And then what wasn't improper, though, was the citizens who actually followed the rules and were in attendance that were qualified candidates. And so here we are, basically disenfranchising them here this evening. And I'm not sure that it's fair to them that they are here in attendance, any more than it was, unfair to those that weren't part of the senior committee here because they weren't here tonight.
Thank you, Councilman. Any other questions or comments? Well, I will say, if it passes to table, I hope P&Z takes in consideration. Personally, I think the rule on this ordinance that the citizen has to be present during the meeting is ludicrous. It's my opinion only. So, council, at this point, I will call the vote. All those in favor to table state aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed state nay.
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 Motion passes 3-2. Thank you, Mr. Harris. Agenda item 4C, consideration and possible action approving the windstorm insurance policy renewal provided by TWIA. Ms. Hurst.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. McGriff has provided us a windstorm and hail policy effective tomorrow, 2026. Provided through TWIA, the coverage premium is $75,745. And that's unchanged from last year with the same 2% deductible. And this year, McGriff specializes in working with municipalities to manage insurance and do the shopping to find savings that TML no longer provides. They recently began working with the city this year to provide coverage with exceptional savings and better coverage. The most recent savings were $200,000 on October 1st of 2025. For our all other peril property insurance by switching from TML to Liberty Mutual Insurance, and it offers better coverage as well. The ultimate goal is for them to help us get our all other peril policy combined with our 2 separate windstorm policies, and that will make things easier for the city and we'll realize savings along the way. So far, they've done very well, and we're thankful for the partnership that they have brought to us. Most importantly, we're eager to continue recognizing areas where we can save money, and we are proud to report those findings to the council and the public. The cost for this premium was included in the budget.
Thank you, Ms. Hurst. Council, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the windstorm policy renewal provided by TWIA as presented.
We have a motion to approve by Councilman Matamoros. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments for Ms. Hurst? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor state aye. Aye. All opposed state nay. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, on item 4D on this workshop here for the the beach. I had meant to actually contact the city manager to remove it for this particular meeting and postpone it for the next one. In addition, I had some other residents reach out to me that wanted to share some additional information, as well as a couple of other businesses, and so I wanted to make sure I include that in my presentation. So just wanted to make sure that we can table that and move forward into executive session.
We have a motion to table agenda item 4D by Councilman Pena. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments on this, gentlemen? Hearing none, I will call the vote. All those in favor state aye. Aye. All opposed state nay. Motion carries unanimously. This is going too quick. Next, we have council work session. Ward A, Councilman Pena.
Thank you. I just want to welcome everybody here tonight. Happy New Year. Hope everybody had a safe and fruitful holiday. But here we are back in the saddle, and got a lot of stuff ramping up here. I just want to first thank everybody for coming out and presenting their questions and the presentations. Mr. Devin with Veolia just stepped out. I was going to try to congratulate him again for his new position. So wishing him the best of luck, and hoping that they can help to get the city's infrastructure up and running. Also, Mr. Rollerson had come up here this evening and touched on the eviction, and I'm kind of curious what the policy is for our police department to be aiding on evictions with the constable. Do we have any guidance on that from city staff that we can speak out on or speak to? Is the chief here?
She is not here, sir.
Okay.
I'll look into that and provide additional information for council.
I'd appreciate it, yeah. I'm just wondering about that information that he had quoted, and if the phrase "nothing but children are in here" was said. I'd like to know who those officers were that said this, and then also, I imagine there was some video camera footage of this. If, I don't know where this is going to end up, but if he's talking about suing the city, if Mr. Rollerson, I should say, is looking to pursue this as seriously as he is, or that he's stating, I'm very curious about all that information that was recorded, and making sure that the city's properly prepared to review that information before any response to the public and or Mr. Rollerson is made. And then I'm also curious about this wastewater fines. Do we have any knowledge on that as well from the city side?
I do not, sir.
Okay.
I'll look into that as well.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And I want to thank Ms. Green for coming up and asking about the process on the Civil Service Board, and be looking at those questions as well. And then Mr. Cool commenting about, yet again, 4th and Pecan. I'm not sure where the study from Kinnick-Keast is at this point. Does anybody have any update on that? On the status of that particular? Okay. Well, I know it was put in right before you came on board, Ms. Kelly, so hopefully we can get an update on that. But I do know that as far as the evening hours go, those blinking lights are one thing, but one thing that I've always noticed that is high visibility is street reflectors. And I'm not sure if we want to take a look at that. Certainly very cost prohibitive, very cost effective, I should say. And so I just thought I'd mention that, or for that matter, even a speed bump near that intersection. On other matters here, I was just curious about the splash pad for downtown, if we will now finally be able to get that up and working. I know that with the holidays, the fountain was a nice backdrop to all the other holiday decorations, and the splash pad is still being asked by residents and myself since July, and I'd like to see if we can get that one up and running as soon as possible. And then the second question I have is, I was told by residents that the property at 110 West Park, which is, I think, the property next door to the recently deeded 1112 to Mama C's restaurant, that there was some ongoing construction in there and some repairs, and I'm just kind of curious what the status on that is. Is there another business that's being identified for that? Because in addition to residents asking questions about the construction going on in there and what the plans are, there are other businesses that have reached out and are asking for any additional available space that was similar to, I guess, the granting and deeding that Mama C's received. So it'd be nice to see another business get in there, but I wanted to make sure that I understood the status so that I could communicate that to both residents and businesses. Do we have any knowledge on that particular space, if there's any permits being pulled? I'm not sure who's doing the work, but I did see construction work in there.
You said 1110, I presume you mean 210, correct?
Sorry,
Park?
yes, correct.
That is being used by the Main Street program. If you saw any activity going on in there, they have a wall that they're going to put on the outside, and the artist asked to use that building so he could paint, and that was permitted. But
Okay.
it's not any business or anything like that moving in.
Oh, okay. So in terms of businesses looking to use that space, is that going to be?
We have one that's considering it. There's a lot of repair that needs to go into that building, so
Yeah.
it's a touch and go thing.
So best thing to go ahead is just forward you their contact information?
Oh, yeah, if you've
Okay.
got somebody that's interested,
Yeah.
please do.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, thank you so much. And then also curious if we can get an update here, possibly probably after the meeting, so we can't get into it in executive session, I don't think, is the Maddox contract, and wanted to have that conversation as it relates to the Skinner Street. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Ward B, Councilman Davis.
Good evening. Oh, it went so quick, I was kind of speechless, wasn't ready for comments and announcement. But way to start the year off in 2026. We got in and we're getting in and getting out. Well, first of all, we'd like to piggyback on that. Happy New Year to each and every one of y'all. Hope you had a good Christmas and New Year's. Obviously you did, because you're here, you know. It's some people didn't make it to this day, so we're going to be thankful and grateful, you know, for a new year. See, Ms. Green, I know you have some questions. Maybe you can see me afterwards on some of the reason. You know, we have a lot to learn, and just like the public's going to learn a lot about this, police officers and the union and all of that stuff. And we just wanted to, I just wanted to make sure that we didn't say anything or do anything. So it was a consult with the lawyer to see what we can and what we can't do in this situation. So, I mean, can't go into too many details of that because it was in executive session, but, you know, it was just, it's a lot to learn here, and we want to make sure before we come out with the public and make a statement or make a change or, vote on something, that we were doing it the right way, understand? So, and on the citizens, on the stop signs, and, that the citizens come up, he come up every week. I have talked to him before. But I just want the citizens to, hopefully we can get an understanding. The city's not turning a blind eye to what he's saying. We recognize that it is a problem. But when you're dealing with, I see him calling out signs like slow and, but I work for the county, and I am the actual sign man. So I do signs. That's what I do. Speed limits and stop signs and all of them type of signs. And it's a process you have to go through. You can't just put up some signs in some areas. We have to go to commissioner's court, and it has to get passed, and, you have to tell why, and they got to do a study, and, so it is things that you have to do, but, they put out slow signs, and these are just informational signs, just to try to catch your attention. I mean, until you can come up with a solution, and when you have something like that, it's just the people that's driving. Like, if you put a four-way stop there, they're probably gonna run the four-way stop sign. I mean, but we had a area coming off of the Galveston Bridge back there, when you come off the bridge coming from Galveston, and it's a tight curve back there. And we've had, they was having wrecks monthly because they come off that bridge too fast, and they can't make that turn. Well, we have Chevron signs, which are arrow signs, but they're reflected. But they were having accidents monthly, and a couple of people died, a year out there. So, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Well, we finally put the blinking signs out there. The signs, the stop signs that he has, but this is an arrow sign, but it blinks. It blinks too. And, that's just, what else can you do? But since we put the blinking signs out there, the signs have been up there for 2 years, and we haven't had a fatality in 2 years. I used to have to go out there and change them signs twice a month because they come off there and they hit them. They just now hit one of the signs, and from 2 years ago, So it does make a difference. It catches your attention. It catches your attention, and you're a driver when you're out there, and when you see something blinking or you see something, you look at it. Now, a lot of people don't pay attention to signs. They just, blow the sign off anyway. But, that is just, a step that Freeport is trying to take. We do want to keep you safe out there. And that's just one step that we're taking to at least try, instead of just doing nothing. Because we could have just done nothing and just left the stop sign out there. And then you would have said, well, oh, look, they're not doing that. But we're doing something. And, so it's a process, and hopefully, the blinking stop sign. I haven't heard anything happen over there since then. So, maybe it's helping. But we just want to make sure that you understand, and hopefully we can be patient, and hopefully we can get the problem cut down, because you can't resolve it. People gonna drive the way they're gonna drive. You could send an officer out there, and sit him out there all day. Well, you can't do that. That's just something that you can't do. So hopefully the situation will calm down. But thank y'all for coming out, and we'll have a great 2026.
Thank you, Councilman. Ward C, Councilman Matamoros. He says he doesn't have anything to report tonight. How about Ward D, Councilman Rosso?
Well, I just want to emphasize the Martin Luther King parade. It's their 40th year, so it's a big celebration. a festival in the park. Hopefully the weather will cooperate with us this year. We haven't had it in 2 years straight because of the temperature. And the public will be notified if for some reason that we can't do it. But I encourage you to take your kids or even yourself, go out and be a part of the festival, especially the one that's happening in the park. People come from all over. Also, this year's something different we're doing, other than all the food, lots of food being served. In the parking lot at the high school, we'll be doing cans, paper, all of that recycling material. You can come to that same day from 8 o'clock until 11 o'clock. There's a fraternity that's doing it as a project, and they wanted to be a part of the MLK under their guides. So I thank everyone for coming out. I know I appreciate you spending your time here in a council meeting. People out there in cyber world, thank you for tuning in, and God bless Freeport.
Thank you, Councilman. You know, every week when we get to this point, we thank everybody for showing up. We thank everybody for watching. And it over time, it just kind of sounds routine, maybe. But I want to say, I truly thank y'all for coming out. You know, when I got here tonight, there wasn't an empty spot to park out in the parking lot. Okay, there was one left for you. But it really does mean a lot for y'all to show up, be engaged, and help us make Freeport the best Freeport we can. With that being said, I want to hope everybody had a great holiday season. Personally, I'm glad it's over. Before too long, I can start taking Christmas decorations down. I'm looking forward to that. Not really. So, you know, 2026 is here. We got a lot of work ahead of us. We got some momentum we're going to carry into the new year. Looking forward to it, and do what we can to make it the best city we can. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Kelly.
Thank you. I just want to let everybody know that we no longer have a house in Freeport, that we have received all our furniture and unpacked, and we have a true home here, and we couldn't be happier. Thank you.
Nice. All right, with that, we're fixing to go into executive session. Before we do, I am going to make a motion to table the second item under executive session, which is personnel matters regarding EDC board member David McGinty. And the reason for tabling it is there's evidently some allegations of misconduct and or malfeasance, and neither council nor Mr. McGinty is aware of what these allegations are. So in a case like this, the accused has the opportunity to have it either in open session or in executive session, and Mr. McGinty would like to have it in open session. However, it's kind of hard to make a defense if you don't know what you're being accused of. So I make a motion that we table the personnel matters concerning Mr. David McGinty, and I'm looking for a second.
I'll second that.
seconded by Councilman Matamoros. Any discussion on this, gentlemen?
Yes. I just want to be clear that the reason I have this on the agenda and requested it was because I was contacted by former EDC board members and residents of some serious concerns about Mr. McGinty and the alleged misconduct and malfeasance related to the mowing contracts through the EDC. And I put this on the agenda, and I also requested those contracts, and we could get into the weeds of it all, but I'm fine if we table it and collect additional information to make sure that Mr. McGinty is informed, even more so, to provide his explanation. But I'll be sharing the details of everything that I've heard from residents and former board members of the EDC. And if the scope of that particular investigation should require additional EDC board members to be called upon and asked, and/or for that matter, also be investigated, it's going to happen. And again, I pose none of these investigations without residents coming forward with material information. And so that information I'll be sharing with council and with the public as well. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Yeah, all I ask is that you provide counsel and the accused.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments on that, gentlemen? Hearing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor to table state aye. 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 All opposed state nay. Motion carries unanimously. In executive session, we have personnel matters, discussion and possible action regarding personnel matters involving the HR Director, Ms. Donna Fisher. Ms. Fisher, you have the choice to have this in open or in executive. Open. You would like to have it in open. Okay. So legal, we do not need to go into executive session. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right.
Well, Mayor, I was going to also mention that after you tabled the McGinty issue, to make sure that we also table the Fisher issue so that additional information can be presented to council in advance as well.
So we have a motion to table agenda executive session item number 1 as well. That motion is made by Councilman Pena. Is there a second? I will second it. Any questions or comments on this, gentlemen?
This might be the earliest we ever leave a council meeting in the last 2 years.
Hearing none, I will call the vote. All those in favor to table state aye. 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 All opposed state nay. Motion carries unanimously.
I make a motion to adjourn.
It is 7:09. We have a motion to adjourn by Councilman Matamoros. Is there a second?
In a hurry not to be here and in a hurry to get out.
Second.
You had the second, Councilman? So I'll call the vote. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed state nay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Thank you very much.
Because we violated it when